Hey, everybody. How's it going tonight? Hope everybody's doing okay. Been a busy week for some people.
It's been a busy week for me too. I just
Uh,
I hadn't felt good today, so I took a day of rest.
um, we've been having thunderstorms a little bit off and on this whole week. Uh, Everybody can hear us, correct?
Oh, I hope so. If y'all can hear, somebody type a yes.
Uh, Hope so.
Oh, good.
All right.
I thought I got it fixed.
We've been having some audio problems here the last few times, but
Apparently, there's a button on the computer I didn't know about, and it changes the privacy settings of your mic.
I think that's the one he was trying to tell me about
Yeah.
that day or something.
So there's some key combination where the cat or the dog walks on the laptop, basically.
They don't need to be working on that.
They don't, but you know how sister is. When she's determined to get in your lap, she's bumping everything.
All right. Well, it's good to see everybody tonight out there. Uh, Hope y'all had a good 4th of July and had a good week. I know it's been hot here in Alabama,
No, Dennis.
and it's been thunderstorming. And I've been on a shutdown. This is my last night of it, thank the Lord. I'm about sick of it. So I don't like playing in robot grease all night long and everything else you have to do.
So I guess we should say hey to everybody. Hey Joe. Hey Mark D. Hey Miss Pat. Hey Dennis Conroy. Misty made it in. She's going to be listening but cooking supper. So PJ Arkansas, she just dropped in also. And Dennis, no, it wasn't the on-off button. Mark has a problem with the mute button himself, but there's a key combination that stops sharing your mic externally.
Well, it's good to see everybody and hello to everybody. Like I said, I hope y'all have had a good 4th and a good week to spend maybe with family or friends and do some fellowship.
And not work like we did.
Well, when I took the job, I knew my holidays would be spent doing shutdowns, but that's just
I
part
guess
of
I
it.
should have known that with mine too. It's retail. Of course you're going to be open.
Most time in the maintenance field, especially the automotive industry, they want to do the shutdowns on 4th of July and Christmas, right after Christmas. Uh, so, just the way it goes and everything, but collecting all your pins.
I'm not sure why there's so much stuff right here.
Pretty sure because it looks like most of it yours.
Batteries are not mine.
I don't know why batteries are like. Anyway,
Blue Eyed Northern says, good interview last night.
thank you.
Joe says their beans have grown.
Good. I was wanting to do a live outside tonight,
Yeah, we were supposed to
but
do
we
that.
got a storm back over here to the west of us. It was thundering a while ago, lightning a little bit back in the west. And I said, well, might as well. And she's not feeling well, so we just decided to just do it in here.
Oh, back to the not feeling well. It made my brain remember something. So I had an iron infusion yesterday, right?
Probably need to talk up a little bit better.
Hopefully they can hear me. I guess I might need to move the computer.
Might not hurt to move it over here a little bit.
But I had the iron infusion yesterday, and I was talking to the nurses about the things that I discovered that interfere with iron consumption or absorption, I mean, and they didn't know it either.
Wow.
They give iron infusions all the time and did not know that caffeine interferes and that vitamin C and A help with absorption. I was shocked.
Well, I'm gonna, let me just
I was
keep my
shocked.
mouth shut.
Yep,
I don't need to go down that road.
the one where they want to give you meds
Yeah.
all the time and not fix the problem.
Right.
Yeah.
I need to keep my mouth shut.
Yep. My second set of iron infusions, and in 2 years.
I'm gonna move this a little closer to this.
Flat Rock made it on. Billy Schilling made it on. Ooh, that got close, babe.
I'm
David
sorry.
Hughes made it on. Let me turn this light out over here too.
Yeah.
Got a lot of people making it on. There
Oh,
we go.
yeah.
That's better. Like I said, Flat Rock, Billy Schilling, David Hughes, all these have come on. Hi,
We see all
everybody.
y'all. Glad y'all made it.
So yeah, they had no clue, and I mean, because I mentioned casually that nobody had ever even told me how much iron I needed to be taking, let alone that I didn't need to take it with my morning coffee.
Right.
And they looked at me kind of funny. I said, yeah. All my research that I have done due to having to have the second set of infusions said interference of caffeine, sweating it out, and A and C helps with absorption. So have your morning coffee, but take your iron at night, or vice versa.
Well, that's good to know,
Mhm.
especially for women.
Yep.
Y'all tend to have a bigger problem with that than most men do. But
They
some
do.
men
They
do
do.
have
Some men
problems
too.
So,
But yeah.
and some of it's just, I guess, the way the Lord made y'all's body. I'm gonna
It
say
is. It is. That monthly thing, causes
Let's
most
don't get
women.
into all that.
Causes most women.
Most
to have
people
that
don't
problem.
want to hear all that.
Oh, I wasn't going all that way. That's as far as I was going with it.
Yeah, done a show with Mike Bueller last night and really enjoyed it. Red Creek Mafia. Really enjoyed it. We hit on different things a little bit, told about some different encounters, but I really enjoyed the show. I think Mike's gonna have a good show too. So y'all go support him too, and of course support all our everybody else we support. Y'all know who they are. So, took a little walk around the crops a while ago while I was outside. Corn is looking very good, putting on ears, looking very good. My poor watermelon patch is getting took over, but what's wrong?
I'm looking for the other dog.
You might want to go find her real quick.
Yep.
She's probably in the kitchen.
Probably, even though the gate's up. No, she's in the bathroom. Okay. We got to get a plumber, by the way. That's gotten worse.
Yeah.
I don't know how it's getting worse without being used, but it's getting worse.
Where was I at? Oh, on the crops.
Yes.
Watermelon patch looks good, but it's growing up real quick and a lot of stuff. I didn't get a chance to go back and cultivate it good like I needed to. Peas are iffy. I got one set of peas that's real pretty. I got one set of peas that's put on. They're making. I don't know how many they're going to be because the deer really put a hurting on me. And I looked at the pumpkins, and we don't have a very good stand of pumpkins. But I noticed something else too with that. We had tilled that. Or everywhere I tilled, there's no grass either.
That's good.
Maybe, maybe not.
Right. Maybe not.
We don't have a very good stand of pumpkins either.
Oh.
But we ain't got grass growing either.
John planted pumpkins, right?
I planted the Cherokee tans. You don't have a two up out there. I wonder if something's going on with the soil.
Possible.
By no grass growing
Because
either.
my tomatoes are not growing well. The peppers are producing well, but they're not growing well. I got them big old peppers off of plants this tall. I mean,
Yeah.
And when I say that tall, I mean from my hand to there.
Yeah, they're loaded.
The beans, they're not really climbing or nothing still. The cantaloupe that I planted, back in May, is not real big still. The vines.
Did you ever put fertilizer in any of that?
I think I did.
Well, we're gonna have a corn crop unless something blows it down or something eats it all in one night. So, but like peas and stuff like that ain't looking too good. So,
Yeah. Although your Uncle Max peas.
yeah, they're looking good. So.
I was out there looking at the sweet potatoes even.
Yeah, they're not doing
They're
very
not
well.
growing very well either.
Yes, I don't know what's going on. It's been hot, so they ought to be growing. And we've had the water, so and I know I don't know something ain't right somewhere. Something ain't right. Um,
Billy's corn took off also.
my corn's the prettiest thing I got this year. Um, everything else kind of I mean the watermelons look good too. They just I don't know them whatever them weeds are. I got to figure out what them things are and somehow get rid of them things. But
Definitely an odd growing season. That's what David said.
it is. It's
I'm agreeing with him.
the right before I planted the pumpkins, I let my son run the tiller through those areas. To till it up good and kill any grass and stuff. And we planted it like the next day.
Ooh, Janelle made it home.
And
Janelle made it home?
Yeah.
I didn't see her come on.
hey Janelle, we went back and planted it, and we got a rain on it that afternoon. We got a decent rain that Sunday night. If I planted on Sunday, that might be my problem. But Lord, sometimes got to do when you got to do when you can do it. But I learned that a long time ago. They always say if you had a mule stuck in the mud, you're gonna leave it stuck in the mud. So on a Sunday, so sometimes you got to get out there and do what you got to do, and no matter what day it is. The one thing we always got to remember: Sabbath was made for man, not man for Sabbath. So I hope everybody understood what I just said right there. But let's see. Anybody got any questions about
So
anything?
PJ said their garden didn't do good either. The only thing that has done decent is the squash, and those aren't great. Yeah, I just pulled out my dead squash vines the other day. All of them are dead. They were starting out okay, but they were not doing very great. They got that dark yellow color really fast instead of, the soft yellow to bigger sizes. I had squash this big that was already orange, basically.
Yeah, stuff's doing weird. I know the pear tree at Mom's. I checked it a while ago. There's still just a few on it. Everybody else I'm talking to at work that's got pear trees says theirs don't hardly have none. Now some people said their apple trees were loaded. The fig tree at Mom's is looking good. I hadn't looked at these fig trees out
These
here.
out here are struggling because they barely had leaves even.
Um,
I got to pull the weeds around the two inside the chicken yard and prune off all the dead.
Yeah.
And then, we lost the one, the LSU purple.
right, so we'll have to
It
get
never
another
come
one.
back. And then the one that's off the cutting of your mom's actually is struggling, but it didn't die as hard as the other two did.
That and Mom's recovered pretty good, that big tree.
The two pawpaws here are looking good, finally. I guess they finally overcome whatever they were struggling with the first couple of years here. And then the pawpaws at your mom's actually produced fruit this year.
Yeah, I got to keep an eye on them because I think they're fixing to turn ripe on us. I need to keep an eye on them. If y'all don't know what a pawpaw is, it's actually a native tree to the U.S. that produces fruit. I don't know where everybody's from on here. I know where some people's from, but pawpaws grow pretty well around this area because we're right at the end of the southern Appalachians, kind of where the mountains start kind of ending in just the rolling hills, and then down toward the Gulf Plain of the Gulf of Mexico. But pawpaws used to grow very well in here. I used to see them everywhere when I was growing up. Now, when they started their massacre of the hardwood trees in here back starting in the late 80s and 90s and early 2000s, when they started wiping everything out and planting back pine plantations, a lot of the pawpaws disappeared. A lot of our stuff disappeared. I don't see white ash as much as I used to, or black ash. Of course, the prevalent hardwood tree that came back was sweet gum. They came back everywhere with the pines, but your oaks and trees that to me that are your oaks, hickories, ashes, poplar, and a lot of those didn't come back well, and so we don't have what our ecosystem done a complete complete flip flop in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s. Caused a lot of erosion. Uh, I've seen a lot of creeks now that are about stopped up with mud because those years of those cutovers. Just, I don't know. It's just a sign of the times, I guess. What's everybody saying?
Not much. Everybody's
Everybody's
just talking
wore
to
out,
each
ain't
other,
they?
really.
Everybody-
Hillbilly bananas is what they called them, was what Billy said.
Yep, that's it.
Joe
There's,
Parker said his is slowed. Okra's going, Joe said.
that's good.
And David Hughes said we're under the law of grace now.
True.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, the chat hadn't moved too much right now. So.
Well, we know too that a lot of things are going on in the atmosphere.
Mhm. And y'all, I'm gonna interrupt him real fast. We are keeping it short tonight. We will be off of here at 8. So if
Yeah,
y'all want
I've
to talk about something, let us know.
I've got to head to work one more night, so get this shut down over with. In fact, I talked to Bradley a while ago, and it ain't going well.
Oh, no.
I'm like, Lord.
So you'll be at work tomorrow.
No, he didn't say that. He just said that they'll probably have the time we get there. So we just had some goof ups happen with this shutdown. Very strange. It's very strange. Some stuff we had happen. So just another thing that's happening, I guess, in the world. Everything just not seem to roll like it used to roll. Seems like it's rocks getting thrown under the wheels every time you turn around out here lately. So, all right, I was going to say something, and then you, what was I going to say?
It was right after David Hughes' comment of we're under law of grace.
Well, y'all had to forgive me. I'm tired this week. My
So
brain.
you were probably going to talk about the law of grace.
Well, we might get into that in a minute. I don't know. I can't. Getting older don't help matters either.
Well, I should have not interrupted you.
No, it's all right.
That's why I don't interrupt you a lot of times.
Yeah, so, next week, I hopefully get to spend some time with Misty and Spencer up at Greg's. I'm hoping everything goes well. We can go up and spend the day with them up in North Alabama.
Hey, that's next week, isn't it?
Yeah, it's next
Yeah.
week. And I've got a lot of things I got to get going back here. Yeah, I got to fix that shower faucet. Or go ahead and bite the bullet and just
Any
get
of
it.
y'all that are plumbers and want to come make a surprise visit, please feel free. We'll pay you.
Yeah, I dread tearing out the wall. I know that's going to be a chore. And that's why I was hoping I could find an insert for it somewhere. And I need to call around to a few of the older style hardware stores and see if anybody might happen to have one laying on the shelf. That would make life so much easier, just change out that insert. But
Gotta have time to look for the inserts, though.
well, I might get on the phone just call him and
Yeah.
save me some time. Because sometimes these old hardware stores still have stuff on the shelf, actually. Of course, Home Depot and Lowe's and some of these others, they're not going to carry anything that's old. It's all going to be brand new, and a lot of them don't have repair kits for nothing anyway.
They don't.
So you either have to get online looking, and I didn't know they made so many styles back in. Lord have mercy. I guess every company had their own style. I think I looked at 50 different type inserts and never did see the one I needed. So, but somebody also told me to check with trailer places that sell parts
Yes.
for trailers.
Because sometimes they have that type of faucet.
Yeah, so I need to. I think there's one a big in there in Elliott City. I need to check.
There is. I forgot about that.
So I might need to call him and ask him if he got it in the old style, because that would save a whole lot of trouble just to, change that stem out. Not have to tear the faucet out of the wall and take half the wall out. Because I got other projects I need to be working on too. So, let's see. There was something I told you the other night we need to talk about. What was that other day I told you? Oh, tools.
Yep.
Tools. There we go.
Yep, because I showed you the picture of the cordless
The
drill.
old cordless drill.
The cordless drill.
The old real cordless drill.
Yep.
Talking about tools for a minute, and this goes along with homesteaders or anybody. I know we have the big craze going on with the battery operated stuff, which is great. I mean, it's convenient. You don't have to drag power cords out, and if you're going somewhere to build something that ain't power there, if you don't have a generator, I mean, that battery stuff is nice. Don't get me wrong. I use it a lot. It makes life go a lot quicker. It's very nice. But also, something we need to think about in
Robert didn't do that.
this world now that we're in is, our power grid is not being updated much. There's a couple of companies trying to do some stuff with theirs, but here lately we've heard about power outages, all over the U.S. These thunderstorms coming through, and if you're homesteading, especially, you need to keep some regular old basic hand tools around to help you out. I mean, you really think about it, because and two, the way our world's in right now with some of these other countries really not liking us real good because of the elites, not really because of us, but because of the elites. Um, they all got their little power struggles going on, but it wouldn't hurt to have some basic stuff around your house just to be able to um, be able to still complete um, stuff that you need to. Um, just basic tools, hammers. I'm not saying go out and buy a ton of stuff. I'm just saying whatever you think you would use the most of, have a hand one too besides the electric one. Rebecca seen one of the old timey drills the other day. Uh, she called it a cordless drill, which it is. But it's one of the old timey ones that turns on the side. And I told her, I said, yeah, I said, it wouldn't hurt to have one of those. I've got two of the wood drills, and y'all have probably seen them. They, shape like that. They got a knob on the end, and you hold it here and do it like that.
This one was on the side
Right.
of it, and it was small.
Well, the one I got, those are more made for wood, but you could drill metal with them. You're going to put some pressure on them, but that's where that other one come in, because it's from the top, so you can hold pressure and get a better drill. But something to think about, and keeping a couple of hand saws around, and anything of that nature. It could come in handy one day and help you down the road. So, Rita, tell us what everybody's saying.
Well, I said Robert did those come in.
Hey, Robert.
He says he's been listening, but he's been doing something else. And then Joe's used both of those. And then we got a new message from Mr. Robert. Know what Mark is talking about with summer shutdowns around the 4th of July up here in Michigan. The auto plants have 1 to 2 weeks of shutdown, repairing stuff and installing new equipment.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we changed out a few robots. Done a lot of cable tracks, and repaired a good bit of other stuff. Done some changing out of bearings. Of course, we do robot grease, and had to grease all the robots, and that's a chore. So you'd be surprised how much grease one robot holds. But taking out each individual fitting, which we have air grease pumps that we hook up. You couldn't do them by hand. It'd wear you out trying to do one by hand with a regular old grease gun. But so that's how we do it. We have 55-gallon drums of that grease, so we can sit there and hook up and go for a while. But it's a lot of work to it. Sometimes you're having to climb up on stuff. It's a shutdown will wear you out because your body is not used to working that way. not like routine maintenance. It's more you're you know tearing stuff apart more, climbing and bending a lot more than you usually would with regular production. Right?
So Flat Rock has been talking about. Somebody asked how things were going at his place, and he said the dogs are being grunted at when they walk toward the tree line when they're needing to go relieve themselves. Now they're being skittish to get off the porch. Not every day or night. It's once or twice a week. And he was telling Joe he's going to record a clip of Boo, how skittish he's being and how he's reacting. So apparently Boo's getting growled at in the woods, or at the woods. So.
Okay. It's been quiet here last few weeks. Actually, it's been very quiet. Have you noticed anything at night?
The dogs have been very quiet at night. They have not woke up in the night making barking noises, nothing. I have heard noises like something falling, I guess.
Right.
But it was before we went to bed, like inside the house and stuff, but there's nothing that's fell. Heard the door shut again one day. The dogs ignored it this time. So, not much of nothing really. Out of the ordinary.
That was work calling.
Oh, was it? Of course it was work calling.
I texted him, told him I'd call him back. It probably ain't nothing serious. It's Bradley's. He's probably just gonna tell me what's going on. Oh.
That's it.
All right. Like I said, it's been quiet here as far as I know of when I've been around. Hadn't heard from no neighbors the last few days. Well, we did hear from one neighbor.
He's on a coon killing spree.
But it was a coon that got into their coop. It was a strange hole for a coon, but
awful big hole.
Yeah, but it ended up buzz coons that got into his chickens.
No, I'm still not 100% certain of that, but
well, I mean, it had the signs of a coon. I know. I think Mr. Bell's supposed to go camping again this weekend.
those same coons are at our house.
I think he's going back camping this
Cool.
weekend, so Sunday evening or Monday evening, I might ride down, sit with him a little while. See if he has any activity going on where he's going. Like I said, just don't know much of it. It's been quiet.
It's been quiet.
I don't know if y'all caught our show Sunday with Spencer and Misty, me and Eric. Got off into a subject that too many people in the Bigfoot world don't really want to jump into, and I mean I know why. I mean it's a tough subject to really jump off into and to make sense of it sometimes. But I think we had a very good show. Spencer said he had a very good response back from it. It surprised him big time. I told him, I said, well, people's wanting to talk about that because they're seeing everything that's happening. And I believe that's true. And of us that kind of lean that way, we do need to be telling people why we think it's that way. In other words, we're telling the truth. That everything in this world ain't like we think it is. It's probably just the opposite if we really can see it. But we're so busy with working, going to our kids, grandkids' ball game, not knocking all that, so don't take that wrong. But worrying about what's on TV and keeping up with our next door neighbors, what they're doing, and you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes we forget to really pay attention to what's going on around us, and yeah, these cryptids play a part in it somewhere. Um, so something to really think about. Um, every time you turn on TV, the news is just very negative. Um, I don't even turn on TV. Me and her don't even have cable no more.
Nope.
The only thing we watch is YouTube, and that's select people. Uh, at work, when I log into my computer, news pops up on it. They got like a news thing. Sometimes I'll sit there and read some of it, and after about 10 minutes, I'm already like, all right, this is enough. I can't take it no more. Just because everything I'm reading is just nonsense and crazy.
Mhm.
Um, but we do need to stay informed, kind of what's going on, um, where we can watch for things happening. I think the next few years we're going to really, really see some stuff happen. I'm not going to come out and say what I think, but on that, but because we don't really know, it may calm down for a year or two, but I just don't think it will. But I just think we're going to see a lot more things happening, and, you know.
All right, so Flat Rock said that's the way it's been here all spring since the start of mid-June. Dogs barking at the window and all the above that he's mentioned. Yeah, that has slowed down for us, but it was up until recently. That's how it was. Every night I was getting woke up by the dog barking and everything. Um, Mark D and Billy said, awesome show Sunday. Um, Another great show, David Hughes. PJ said, I've recorded a few things here. I had a knock the other day and a couple of clicks and a grunt. Heard what sounded like wood being dropped on wood. Heard all this myself, plus recorded it. Janelle said she enjoyed what little bit she got to watch since company was there. Robert said, Team Misty on Woodwalkers. If Spencer would ignore it, it wouldn't be funny. And it's so true. It just tears him up so much.
Hey, brother and sister, I like the brother
I
and
tell
sister.
you, yeah. And I told, did you see where I put in that post about plants? I said, if you could just imagine me and Misty together.
Yeah. I seen what Spencer said too. He
Nightmares.
probably might not want you to meet his wife.
Yeah, he said that too. After I said something about don't tell Mark about the building with the plants in the woods,
Right.
because I can give her ideas. So he doesn't want me to meet her, so we'll meet her then. So
Oh yeah.
because I can give her all the ideas on where to put
We'll
plants.
eventually get to meet.
Yeah.
We're going one of these days. I'm gonna go up toward Virginia, or if he makes it back down here, he's talked about bringing his family down visiting. So.
Mark B said, and Flat Rock, both of them don't watch TV no more. So
yeah, it's just when my mother was still living, when I used to go over and check on her, visit with her, I'd try to go several times a week. She'd have that news on, and I said, Mama, why are you sitting here watching all of this? And I mean, it's just, just negativity left and right. And I said, find you a good history program or something. Just get away from this news. It's just, I don't know. It's just depressing most of the time. But I do agree, though. We do need to keep up on things. I do agree with that. We just got to try to weed through the BS through there and get to it. But and always do. That's another thing. Always do your research on everything. Every picture you see, don't always believe it. I'm not saying that people are putting false stuff out there. A lot of people have legit stuff, very legit stuff, but it's AI stuff. It's starting to produce stuff, and always remember that the enemy uses deception all the time. That's his number one thing is using deception. And when somebody tells you about something, research it. It's like when I'm talking about different things, research it. Because sometimes I might make a mistake, mistake, but not intentionally, but I might make a mistake. I made one other day. I said Goliath was a Canaanite. It was actually a Philistine. But technically, that is kind of the same bunch, but just sort of. That whole bunch in there is kind of tied together. Actually, what they were, I think, were tribes that just lived in different areas. But and a lot of them were Nephilim, part Nephilim. Uh, so yeah, I did speak, and then I said one time about Rebecca. Jacob marrying Rebecca was actually Rachel, and I knew it. Just I got confused there for a minute, and um, I tell you, ever since the plague came through a couple of years ago, and I had it, my brain has not worked correctly like it used to. The stuttering has got better, hasn't it? Some. Sometimes I still stutter. Sometimes I still just go blank for a minute and get off out there and la la land for a minute. But I think it done something to me. I think it done something.
And yes, Misty, I'm going to be there. I have Tuesday and Wednesday off.
Oh yeah, good Lord willing, we're gonna make it that way. That's interesting, PJ. So they're still around then.
I read that to you.
Yeah, I know, but I just answered it too.
Why didn't you answer it when I read it to you?
Because you read some more stuff behind it. I didn't want to interrupt you. Yeah, Joe, draw knife's a good thing. Very handy to have too. For a basic tube, them things come in very handy. I got two of them. One of them, I think both of them actually belonged to my grandfather. All them old hand tools that my daddy had actually came from my grandfather. And I hate to say it, some of them were probably in the early 1900s. Still just as good shape as they was then, and still work just as good. So, got a lot of mule drawing equipment too out there. I need to redo. Put new handles, grease it, paint them, get them back in good shape. In case I might have to have them one day. So, and if I don't, then one day I'll have to give them to a museum, or if the kids don't want them.
Yeah, I pretty much bet the kids aren't going to want it. Bobby Younts said hello. Hi.
Hey, Bobby, how you doing? And thank you, Bobby, for the kind words that you sent in Messenger. Appreciate that. Yeah, I was telling Rebecca, I said, noticed our numbers really jumped up in the last day or two. So I really appreciate everybody that subscribed and come and join us. We try to just tell the truth best we can. We try to talk about homesteading, gardening, hunting, fishing. Of course, we talk about cryptids, paranormal, some of the other stuff that we've had dealings with. Uh, Also, I talk about what other people have dealt with. Back when I used to take reports, and I guess I'm kind of back taking reports again, which is a good thing. It helps bring light to where these creatures are, not creatures, beings are, locations they're at, and it might help people to. If you're going out that area to hunt or camp or hike or something, they are there too, and to be mindful of it. Um, but they're just showing up around people's houses a lot now too, in different places. Um, you know, they utilize towns and subdivisions just as much as they do out in the woods too. A lot of food is up around subdivisions, towns. A lot of deer are there now, coons. Like here in Alabama, nobody traps hardly no more.
Paramedic said hello.
Huh?
Paramedic.
Hey, paramedic. Good to see everybody. I hope everybody enjoys what me and Rebecca talk about. I think we got a very good group of subscribers. Um, Everybody's always positive and kind and very and bring out very good things to think about and discussions. And that's what it's about. That's what I was telling Mike last night on the show. If anything came out, if anything that I would say is real positive that comes out of the cryptid arena and the homestead would be meeting new people, making new friends, having new people to discuss with. Also, most of you are from all different parts of the U.S., which is a good thing because then we learn about your community where you live, not through the news, but through you, because you know what's happening there. And that gives us some insight to things that's going on around where you live, as far as news, as far as different things, and it's very helpful. Um, we have a next door neighbor that's a Russian.
We
Living
do
in
a monthly steak night with him even.
Yeah. He lived in California a good many years. He got fed up with California, if you know what I mean. He started hunting for him a state to move to. It had more freedoms and more, and he visited, I think, just about every state in the country, didn't he? I think that's what he told me. He went to everywhere.
Basically did it from an RV.
RV. He just went and camped, stayed in different places. He came to Alabama, and he said he just loved it here. He got to looking at our laws and our taxes and or how much stuff cost and the way the people treated him. He felt very at home. And I know a lot of the other southern states. Now I know all states have their good people. Don't get me wrong, but he said he just felt very at home here. He bought property right next door to us, and he's been a very good neighbor. Uh, couldn't ask for a better neighbor. He's a very good guy, and me and him's had a lot of discussions about different things worldwide. He gave me his, his opinion, what's going on, and I gave him mine, and we both we don't agree on everything, but uh, we still friends and neighbors, uh, and I see some of the points he's made about how the U.S. has always kind of been on control of everything since World War II, and he's kind of right. Uh, and how we've used our power to kind of bully other countries, and I kind of see what he's saying. So. All right, sister. It's bad when you got a big old dog. It's thinks it's a baby.
So paramedic said, no one traps here in Oklahoma anymore. The predator population is getting out of hand, and the mink and otters are eating all the fish in the creek. PJ replied back, turkey population here is drastically decreased.
Yeah, our turkey population started decreasing.
And Misty's still cooking.
Cook us something good, Misty. Our turkey population has really decreased here in Alabama. One time we had one of the largest turkey populations in the U.S. Our turkey population has really decreased. I think some of it is because people are not trapping anymore. I think that plays a part in it. Also, they think when the National Forest Service was burning the woods off about the time that the birds were trying to nest, some people think that was part of the problem. Also, the fire ants here in Alabama, and the same thing with quail, has really, I think, put a dent. And I don't even see the songbirds I used to see growing up. I mean, the jaybirds, the thrashers, the mockingbirds, the sparrows, the cardinals. I mean, you name it. They were just everywhere. Now you just don't see the songbirds like you used to see. They're just not there, and it's the same way with the dove population. We used to have very good dove hunts back in the 80s and 90s, and we just don't get the doves here. We don't get the ducks here like we used to. Even though I got a yard full of geese right now, the Canadian geese have just took over in Alabama. Everywhere you go, there's just flocks and flocks of Canadian geese. Way back yonder, I harvested 2 of them things. This was back when I lived at home with my mother, daddy, and Of course, my mama didn't know how to cook a goose because she never cooked one.
And Michael Haywood.
She was a very good cook, but them geese wasn't too good. So uh, and I imagine some people know how to cook them. You know, parts of the country where there's a lot of duck hunting or that type of hunt, they probably know how to cook them. But I'm gonna tell you, them things was rough trying to eat them things that day. So. Janelle says she still has lots of songbirds. That's good.
Good.
We still have a few come here. I don't see the blue jays as much as I used to.
But the bluebirds have took over.
Yeah, we got plenty of bluebirds. Don't see the blue jays like I used to see them. I see a few cardinals here and there, and we got a couple of mockingbirds that live here. But I just don't see them like I used to see them. You're a big old baby, you know that.
She is. She's a big old baby. Let's see. Misty Hanks, teriyaki chicken, fresh green beans with bacon and onions, fresh corn, and rolls. Cut up some potatoes from Sherry. Guess that's on tomorrow's menu. Janelle says rabbits are scarce. Robert said you wrap them in bacon because ducks are really lean meat.
That's true. My mother, now, I killed a lot of wood ducks, and she done good with them. She done very good, but when I killed them 2 geese that time and brought home, and, it just didn't go as well. I don't know. Maybe because it was the size of it. Most of the time when I killed turkeys, I'd fillet the breast out and cut them up in strips, and like that. They wasn't too hard to cook. And most of the time we fried the turkey breast. But she had time with them 2 geese. So that was something. I think a lot of Southerners are not used to cooking that type of stuff. As far as when it comes, or this part of the country. Let me say, this part of Alabama. So I know there's probably some areas they probably know what they're doing with it. So.
Feral cat, nature's worst enemy, almost.
Yes, feral cats do a lot of damage.
Cause some problems.
They do a lot of damage.
But we have an outside cat too, so. But it's for mice. Because we have feed everywhere.
Well,
so.
Feral cats are the ones that are wild.
I know. Outside cats in general do the same damage.
Yeah.
And don't forget, our outside cat is a rehomed feral.
Yeah.
So.
He stays here most of the time.
Mm-hmm. He does.
He's usually perched up out there somewhere. But Janelle, rabbits are scarce. I have seen a few. I've seen a few more this year, which I know rabbits usually go in cycles, or they used to. Some years you'd have abundance of wild rabbits, and then the next few years you wouldn't. It's kind of like a cycle. But I have seen a few more extra rabbits this year in places. So.
Hey Sheila D, I'm glad you could join us tonight. She said to put an apple and an orange up in the cavity of the geese and bake it comes out great. Winter geese in Louisiana. That's definitely a thought because goose dinner is going to happen with the 15 that we had out there on the pond.
Yeah.
It started out as 13 and then grew.
Yeah. Did they come today?
I didn't see them today, but I didn't go outside much.
Well, one
today.
thing what they're doing is they're grazing in that bahia grass.
Mm-hmm.
They're eating seeds off the bahia. They like that type. It's kind of a grain to it.
Yeah, no, I didn't go outside much today, not with the way I've been feeling. So, paramedic said smoked whole chicken with a can of beer standing in them. Turned out extra juicy. Oh yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, I've ate that before.
Mark D, rabbits are plenty in his area.
That's good.
See them almost every morning.
That's good.
Rabbits are plenty in my rabbit barn too. Need to do a processing day.
Let's see. Ooh, I'm gonna have to get off here.
Yep, it is time.
Yep, as much as I hate. I know we haven't jumped off in a whole bunch tonight. I've kind of just skipped around here and there. Y'all have to forgive me, being a little tired. Rebecca not feeling well. Um, I'm hoping next week kind of get back on a regular schedule with our videos and our live and kind of maybe be. Go ahead, just don't say something.
I was going to agree with Robert. I told Mark that I could figure out how to cook a goose if nothing else. Plenty of YouTube videos, plenty of recipes out there. Get me a goose, I'll figure it out. That's what I told you.
I got into some snow geese one time, but my aunt cooked them. They turned out pretty good. But she cooked like my grandma did. But my grandma was the same one that cooked squirrel heads, all that stuff too.
No heads, no eyeballs floating in the pot. Just no.
I still remember my sister said she went to grandma's one time, walked in there and said, "Oh boy, it smelled good in there." She knew something good was cooking in the kitchen. And walked in there and took the lid off that pot and looked in there, and all them squirrel heads were floating.
No.
I got tickled.
No.
Well, them older people now, they didn't waste nothing, buddy.
Yeah.
They didn't waste nothing.
No.
But if we lived in that time period, we probably.
Oh yeah. But I don't know. It would probably be just like it was when I grew up. I hated eating chicken. And the parents' favorite place to take us for a treat? KFC. Hated chicken growing up.
You don't like fish either?
Well, yeah, but I wouldn't eat chicken for the longest time.
Sister, you need to sit down. Sit down. Hey, talking to you. Sit down.
She knows you're talking to her. Acting that
Sit down.
Come on.
All right. Well, I'm glad everybody came on tonight. Like I said, I'm sorry I didn't really jump off in anything real deep. With me going to work, I knew too. Because I'll be honest with you, I hate to get started on something, then have to stop on it. Because a lot of times I forget what I said too the next time. Tell you, something's getting older and all kinds of things.
Sister wants to make sure everybody says hello to her.
Yeah.
Because we got people saying hello, sister. Sheila said citrus will pull the game flavor out. Never use wine; it'll put the game flavor back in.
Okay, that's something. I'd try that.
Or it'll strengthen the game flavor.
I have to try that out.
Yeah, everybody's saying. Hey,
that's one reason I've never harvested many geese. I could have over the years, but I just kind of left them alone.
And sister needs a bath.
Well,
Sister stinks.
I imagine she does. She's probably been out rolling or something.
She was.
Doing what dogs do. That's what they both do.
And the bathtub to give her a bath in.
I never forget when we used
down so hard I can't turn it back on.
We'd go bird hunting around some pasture land. I swear that bird dogs would find every fresh cow patty out there to roll in.
Yeah, sister does very good with that.
They'd get a running start and they'd just take one shoulder and just dive.
She does that very good.
Then they'd stand up and run the other shoulder through it. Then they come and want you to pedal.
Put their head down in it and wallow and flip. And, yeah. Yeah. Sister does that very well.
And the biggest thing is run right back up to you.
Sister does that very well. Sister does that very well. She did it earlier today.
I used to keep a pair of gloves by my dog box. We'd get back to the truck and put the gloves on. Well, I had some bird dogs wouldn't load on their own. And I'd have to set them up, on the tailgate. Especially as they got older and stuff, it's hard for them to jump. So I made sure I always kept a pair of gloves back in the truck.
What is calf fries?
Cat fries?
Calf fries. Is this like mountain oysters? Yeah, I've eaten a lot of things too, but there are certain things I draw the line at. Just like David Hughes said, squirrel head soup probably going to be one that I draw the line at. I've eaten rattlesnake. I like it. I've eaten crocodile. I like it, or alligator, whichever one it is. I think I've even had shark once. I don't remember. But I draw the line at organs. So if calf fries is anything like mountain oysters, I'm definitely going to draw the line there. Yeah, he said mouth oysters. Yeah, that must be what cat pies are. Yeah, no, thank you. Nope, no organs, no livers, which is why I have bad iron. I already know. I don't eat livers. Just know. So, all right, Mark. 7:55. We gotta wrap this up.
Yeah, we gotta wrap this up. We gotta get the shoes on,
Yep.
get ready to walk out the door.
So we wrapping it up, guys.
Y'all, I hope y'all have a good next week. Have a good, safe weekend. Love one another. Take care of each other. Don't be judgmental. Be kind. Try to get along. Everybody would support Spencer and Misty with Woodwalkers. I don't know if they'll have a show this Sunday or not.
I don't know either.
I hadn't
Yeah,
asked
my
Spencer
mind
or
rules
Misty.
my mouth,
Um,
eating and speaking.
and of course, the Beast crew, Mr. Larry, Mr. Mark, and Chris with. And I've got to go watch Chris's video. He come out with about the hand the other day, and I hadn't got to watch that.
Just
I need to go check that out. Also, Kyle with Encrypted, and Mike with Red Creek Mafia. Mr. Nunley hadn't put out much lately. I don't know what's going on. I see him still texting on Facebook a little bit, but haven't seen him put out much here lately. Hillbent Hollers put out some pretty good
Speaking
things.
of channels, I was scrolling through YouTube earlier, and Justin Rhodes' son Jonah is having a hip replacement.
That's
So as
going-
much as I'm not a fan of his channel, his son's having a hip replacement.
Let's say
That's rough
That's a
at
young
his
boy.
age. So y'all might want to keep them in your family, your prayers, even if you don't like his show, because hip replacement's pretty major for somebody young.
Well, Justin Rhodes does homesteading, so some of the people in the Bigfoot community don't know who he is. He's
Oh
a
yeah,
he's a big homesteader YouTube. Probably one of the largest with subscribers. I think he's over 1 million. So,
yeah.
and he does put out some good stuff. I'm not going to say he doesn't have some good stuff.
He's got the money to back it up.
Right. So, if you want to watch homesteaders, some of the good ones are like Deep South there in Mississippi, Deep South Homestead, and you got Perma Pastures up there in North Carolina. He does a lot of the perma type culture stuff over on the side of a mountain, and has done pretty darn good with it. So, and there's a few others out there. that
I
do
like
all this.
Holler Homestead. Go back and watch their journey from the beginning,
Yeah,
because they do everything by hand, or
and there's some other
did
ones.
everything by hand.
David the Good down on the Alabama
Yeah,
Florida
sister.
line. He does a lot of stuff the hand way. He's got some good videos. That's what it's called, David the Good. There's a few others out there. I don't hit on it a lot because I really don't know how many people's homesteading on here. And I'm not saying that
Thanks, Janelle.
ugly, but So. Y'all go check them all out. Well, I appreciate all the new subscribers and, of course, our older subscribers. Glad to hear from everybody. Glad to be able to have a live tonight.
Thankful to call so many of you friends, actually, too.
Well, yeah. I agree. And this is one thing I like about this.
Exactly.
I'm meeting new people all the time, even though I don't see them face to face.
Oh, sister.
I meet new people all the time, hearing what they're talking about.
You hadn't seen lately, that's fresh.
Yeah, I haven't seen Fresh lately. In fact, Janelle might know.
Yep.
Because he was.
Well, we got to get off here, so
So, y'all give us, if you haven't subscribed to us, give us a subscribe. Give us a like,
sister's
comment,
killing me with licking.
especially make them comments. Tell your friends about us because
Sister doesn't want to be, she is.
the biggest thing we want to do is tell the truth about things in the cryptid world and other stuff. And then we're not experts by no means. Just old dumb country boys from Alabama. But and on homesteading, we'll try to show you or tell you what
Thank you, sister.
try to help you any way we can if we know anything about that's part of the subject that you're asking.
8 o'clock.
So. All right, y'all. She's rushing me off, so love y'all. Y'all have a good night. We'll see y'all next week.
Hit that like button, guys.
Bye bye.
Bye.